Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, and I'm back to bring you another episode review from Season 7 of The Loud House. So let's get right into it. Today's episode is Riddle School. In this episode, the Action News team has to solve a series of puzzles to uncover the identity of someone named the Swindler. This has got to be one of the most perplexing episodes of Season 7. Not only does the very beginning raise a few questions on what exactly the acronym EAT stands for when referring to the class the kids chose for the upcoming semester, but the meaning behind the acronym and the payoff to the story were so mind-boggling. Even more so when it comes to the motivation/plans taken by the supposed antagonist. But before I talk all about that, I will say the best parts of the episode were Lincoln and the Freckle gang working together to solve all the riddles. Each of the 6 kids contributed to either figuring out what a certain clue meant or played a part in retrieving the next envelope so they could keep the adventure going. I'll also give credit to how all their clues were cleverly written and how cohesively each one led into the next. However, one criticism I do have about these riddles would be the way certain envelopes had to be retrieved, and what needed to be done so the kids could get to the next clue. No matter how inventive everything was, some of these instances were either a bit too forceful, coincidental, or convenient. For example, did the Swindler really bank on the idea of someone, in this case Rusty, getting rope burn and using the heat from his hands to unlock the hidden clue on a piece of paper? Or what about using a surge of electricity to make the skeleton talk? Again, did the Swindler assume someone was going to absorb a certain amount of electricity if they just so happened to put their hands on a plasma ball? It makes you wonder what would have happened had Rusty not experienced any of those things. Everyone would have remained trapped inside the science lab, and who knows what would have happened once the time clock ran out. Then again, the one clue said, given the power to speak, so the probability of the kids forming a chain to send a massive surge of electricity to make the skeleton talk was still very likely. Overly contrived, but still very likely. Also, wouldn't it have made more sense for one of the Action News team envelopes to capitalize the letters S and C, and another one to capitalize the letter I if the goal was to spell out the word science? I know I'm probably nitpicking on this one, and maybe I shouldn't really complain about it. Either way, I'll give the kids a point for being smart enough to not get entirely thrown off by the awkward lettering, and successfully figure out what word they had to spell. Anyway, this riddle-based adventure doesn't really have a proper conclusion because the kids never go to the final location they were told to go to after being freed from the science lab. The Swindler appeared on a screen and said the big one was in the auditorium. However, no one goes there after they run into Mr. Bullhoffner out in the hallway. Would things have played out differently had the kids gone to the auditorium as they were instructed? We never found out what was waiting for them there, provided there was anything waiting for them at all. But it doesn't really matter because the kids found out Bullhoffner was the Swindler the whole time. Then Bullhoffner explains how he set up this entire scheme just to test them in preparation for EAT, espionage and traps. Everything about this revelation is so weird and confusing because it raises some important questions. First off, what was the reason for Bullhoffner to single out Lincoln and his friends out of anyone else taking the course? I'm guessing they were the only ones who signed up, but this leads to my next question. Even though the acronym on its face suggested the idea of eating food, how did the kids not realize what the letters of EAT actually meant before choosing to enroll in that class? That would be like assuming an SAT would involve the act of sitting or standing. I don't know how their universe works, but when I went to school, every elective had a description of what each course was about. Apparently, their school offers no description for any course, and therefore everyone just has to show up on the first day to find out what happens. Now, even though I'll give a little credit to Bullhoffner for explaining how he gave the kids their first envelope and his creative way of laying out each riddle, I still can't wrap my mind around how he was able to get everyone in the cafeteria to eat the spicy marinara spaghetti and start burning up at the exact same time. Additionally, how Bullhoffner went about carrying out this scheme of his was very questionable. He subjected innocent students to flaming hot food and a flooded gymnasium instead of limiting those actions to just Lincoln and his friends. Why did he have to rope other students into his plan if only Lincoln and his pals were meant to benefit from it? If it was only the Freckle gang eating spicy marinara and getting caught up in a flood, I wouldn't be as critical. Then again, couldn't he have made a plan that didn't run the risk of potentially hurting his students? Oh, right, hardship builds character. I forgot. Thank you, musical chairs, for reminding me. Well, regardless of all that, the only other good thing I can say about Bullhoffner's plan was how the episode gave some hints on him being the one behind everything. One of the clues was left in his classroom, specifically inside the piranha tank, and the outline of the silhouette on the screen looked just like him. I'll end this review on a random side note by saying we got a cameo from librarian Weta. It would appear she works at both the public and middle school libraries. Yeah, I know it has nothing to do with the story, it's just a fun little observation. Overall, this is one of those episodes that has a really engaging middle section, but it does have a confusing ending that makes you question certain things that were first touched upon at the beginning. For the most part, the clever way the riddles were set up and how intelligent Lincoln and his friends were when it came to solving them were really good. However, everything regarding Bullhoffner, the circumstances surrounding the acronym EAT, and the convoluted scheme this teacher put his kids through just leaves you scratching your head. Still, I'm not going to say this is a bad episode by any means. When factoring in all the good, the bad, and the moments that make you tilt your head in confusion, you get an episode that's merely okay. Not exactly a strong episode to serve as the second to last installment of Season 7, but it's still watchable nonetheless. With that said, I give Riddle School a 7 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Riddle School. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.